just when you thought things couldn't get any worse. Hey folks, Deano here again. This time with, don't get excited, this isn't Magic Model's version. This is a separate clone that sort of went under the radar last month. This is from a company called Magic Model. And yeah, when I seen the in-hand pics of the NEOKONG Super Saiyan 3 Goku, I decided to grab this guy just purely to compare quality, because I don't really know if this Magic Model company intends on bringing out a Goku clone or not. So far they've only shown Vegito. I believe they're doing like the black outfit recolor as well, and the clear hair obviously. But yeah, long story short, do not buy this. If you thought NEOKONG was bad, this thing's worse pretty much in every way, and I do not say that lightly. It's also more expensive than NEOKONG. So yeah, I'll leave a link in the description if you want to buy it. I'll also leave a link in the description to NEOKONG if you want to pre-order the Vegito. Obviously, we don't have high hopes for that figure either, but anything's better than this. Put it that way. But yeah, let's get this off the turntable and take a quick look at the box. So, in terms of the box, it's pretty nondescript. Literally all we have on the box is, I think this is actually Dokkan artwork that they have like sort of modified into Vegito. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is just Super Saiyan 3 Goku, the tech one, that released quite a few years ago now. Yeah, I think it's just that, and someone used Photoshop to alter it to make it look like Vegito. So this is either poorly made by the ones who created this monstrosity, or worse, they've probably just stolen the artwork from some poor sod who just wanted to share his stuff online. Yeah, that is literally all you get. Back of the box, black. Side of the box, black. It comes in two separate boxes. This one had the body and the hands and faces. This one had the head. But yeah, that one is pretty much all the legalese and stuff. Vegito with box. I love how I was aware of it, but others may not, so buyer beware. This seller was cheekily putting Neo in the title, but not actually calling it NEOKONG. But yeah, let's get the box out of here and take a look at the accessories. So, in terms of accessories, he doesn't come with as much as NEOKONG does. NEOKONG, I think, came with 2 extra sets of hands, was it? I already can't remember, honestly. But yeah, we get 1 less hair, and far worse faces, frankly, for a more expensive price. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what Magic Model were thinking. I think they just seen NEOKONG were creating their clone and just decided to capitalise on it and rush this thing out the door. Because yeah, quite a few of you guys have been like asking me about it, thinking that NEOKONG had already released their Vegitos. And yeah, they haven't. It's this thing. So yeah, we get the standard hair, which it's not great quality, I'll be honest. It's kind of rubbery, but kind of hard plastic at the same time. It pops on the body easy enough, but yeah, I mean, bonus points, at least the front bangs fit properly. So that's a plus. Plus the halo also fits properly as well, even if it is a little bit bent there. In terms of faces, For some ungodly reason, this company has decided to use the original decals for their faces, which, yeah, they're pretty terrible. The original Kong Studio faces that came with these are some of the worst faces I've ever seen in my life. Like, if I had the Patara, would you be able to tell this was Vegito or any Dragon Ball character? I don't think you would. But yet, for some bizarre reason, even though they've went with the really old decals that look terrible, they went with the updated way they attach, which actually makes them more secure than NEOKONGs. What was this company thinking? Like, honestly. They had the chance to do a really good thing here and beat NEOKONG to the punch, but instead they just threw something together without any care and called it a day. But yeah, we get the stern face there. He's graced you with his presence for long enough. We get the smirk looking down sort of face, which I never liked to begin with, even with the updated one. Why are we limited to looking down with Super Saiyan 3 Vegito? I don't know. Teeth gritted face, which admittedly is probably the best of the 4 face prints. And lastly, the yelling face, which again, Kong Studio, Beast Deities, blah 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 blah. They really have trouble thinking expressions on their faces when it comes to yelling and things like that. So yeah, can't really blame Magic Model for that one, but I will blame them for the eye decals. So yeah, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Finally, we have 6 pairs of hands. For some bizarre reason, we have 2 pairs of fists. This first pair is on him in the package. They are quite loose on him. These ones are slightly smaller. Like, you can't really tell with them sitting here, but once they're on the figure, they do look a bit better, and they are tighter, which is a plus. So even though it's a bizarre inclusion, I am glad they included it. We get the hands for attaching the keyblades into. That's always handy to have spares. Pair of martial arts posy hands. Pair of key blast style hands. And a pair of, I would assume, hands for gripping someone's throat, like Zamasu's face or what have you. So yeah, kind of a strange choice, but we will take it. But yeah, that's it for accessories. This guy is a bit light on them compared to other figures. But yeah, let's take a look at the figure now. So, in terms of popping this onto the body, it's kind of simple, mostly because the peg itself isn't the tightest on the planet. So yeah, we really are copying Kong Studio's original version, aren't we? That thing couldn't hold up the hair either to save itself. I mean, no figure can really, the way this has been designed, but the peg itself can't hold the weight. So yeah, that pops off. This just pops on, just to match it up. You'll see we again have the 3-peg system, which makes it far more secure than what NEOKONG was doing. Don't know what they were playing at with that. And pop that back on, which goes on absolutely no problem whatsoever. Of all the issues with this figure, the front bangs aren't it, thankfully. Popping the hands on the wrists is fairly easy as well, although the wrist pegs, the swivel themselves is quite loose, which is very annoying. Pop this one on here as well. Anytime today peg would be nice. God. This one's actually quite tight. There we go. Good, good, good. Yeah, I kind of getting the feeling I put the wrong fists on. I think I put the old ones on, but that will not matter at all. So yeah, that is him right there. And yeah, I mean, from a distance, the details actually look pretty decent. Like, apart from his face and hair being overly shiny, the rest of the body actually isn't. Like, it's decent. It's like a semi-matte, semi-gloss sort of thing. So it's not perfect, but it's not overly glossy and cheap looking. Paint apps seem to be applied cleanly on the shoulders, the inner gi, and the boot tips. And yeah, pretty much the figure itself looks the part, apart from those faces. Like, I don't mind a figure looking the part if it's like, if it doesn't feel good, at least I can put it in the back of my display and leave it there forever. If I can do that, then I consider it a sort of passing grade, what have you, which is why I ultimately passed the NEOKONG figure, at least for the body. But yeah, looks is pretty much where this figure ends, unfortunately. Although the hair does have the nice white tips, sort of not overly noticeable, but there is shading and highlights on the hair, which is good. But yeah, in terms of the articulation of this guy, we'll show the hair, we'll show it. In fact, let's take it off the stand. First of all, let's move that off to the side. Now, when I got this figure out of the box, the neck peg was actually quite tight. I have barely touched it since, and it's already really loose and floppy. I believe this is the exact same problem Kong's version 1's had, where it cannot hold the hair at all. It just swivels everywhere. So yeah, it's going to be a nightmare if you want to pose this guy at any point. The ab section is also incredibly loose with the hair on it. The hair does move, swivel and hinge. It moves a lot better than NEOKONG's version, mostly because this one's kinda loose instead of kinda tight. But yeah, it does work. You just have to be very careful with it, because I don't trust these pegs for any length of time holding the hair up. If we pop that off, we will take a look at the body on its own. I don't want to have to deal with that hair. So yeah, on its own, the articulation is actually pretty decent again. Although it does admittedly feel a bit CT Toys-ish, if anyone knows what I'm talking about there. The CT Toys Gohans, they did feel just a bit gummy and just a bit lighter than they probably should have. That's exactly what I'm getting with this figure here. But overall, it is a decent body, just a bit too expensive for my liking. Jump cut, sorry about that, folks. Some overly loud people walking by my house. The joys of having to keep your window open in the summer, because it's like an oven in here again. Yeah, where was I? Yeah, the articulation on its own holds up just fine. It doesn't feel quality, if that makes sense. It definitely feels worse than NEOKONG's, put it that way. Although parts of NEOKONG's were overly tight, so yeah, give and take, I suppose. But yeah, overall it is a decent body, just quite expensive. But yeah, in terms of articulation, the neck is on a double ball peg. Quite a small double ball peg, I've noticed, where all of the Kong Studios Beast 80s pegs like that, because the one that came with the Super Saiyan Goku that I hated didn't, which I thought was a bit strange. But yeah, that one was quite a long peg. So yeah, anyway, the neck, double ball peg. Neck can hinge back and forwards. Well, can't really hinge back any, but it does hinge forward. Arms can go up that far. These inner sleeves they're not hard, like solid per se, but they're not rubbery like you would expect with a Kong Studios type figure. So it doesn't get out of the way quite as much as you'd like, but it can get up that far. Can swivel all the way around. Butterfly joint works absolutely fine. Two of them together. Oh, that pops off. Brilliant. Come on, pop back in. Oh, we're not going to have this problem again, are we? Come on. Oh, I hate 3.0 shoulders. There we go. So yeah, completely fine. Range for the butterfly there. The bicep swivel is completely fine. Let's see, does it pop off easy? Yep, that pops off just fine. I will check at the end of this video to see if the OC Toys sort of attachments work with this guy. Double joint at the elbow, gets past 90. That is decent. I think that's better than OC Toys. Ball hinge at the wrist. The abs can go back that far. Can go forward, actually a decent amount, that far forward. It doesn't really like to pivot, but it does work. And we have swivel and ball peg at the waist. Legs can do the splits pretty much. That is decent. Can kick forward, but that far. Not the best range that I've seen. Loads of companies seem to have trouble with the tolerances up here. NEOKONG's was the same. Thigh rotation is pretty decent. Double jointed knees gets really good range. That is really good. They also straighten up completely, which is good. Oh, we actually do have, that's strange. Do we have a wrist swivel? No, we don't. But we do have a boot swivel. This is closer to NEOKONG's than I thought. Because it was specifically NEOKONG that said they were going to do boot swivels. And they did it with the Goku. Speaking of that NEOKONG Goku, I'm going to do an update video on that. Because I have learned some information and I have quote unquote fixed some issues with it to show you guys, just to see how you think. Yeah, quite impressive. We have a boot swivel there, and this doesn't feel gummy. Unfortunately, the ball peg down here is quite loose, which is part of the reason this figure can't hold the hair to save itself. We also don't have any updates in that regard, so the ankle pivot is kind of terrible, I'm not gonna lie. We can go forward that much, back that much, and toe articulation. So yeah, overall the body is decent, but they are definitely overpricing this. Like NEOKONG, the only reason I'm giving that a pass is one, you can buy the body separate quite cheaply, and two, even the sets with the Super Saiyan 3 hair are still quite affordable to me. Like on AliExpress, I think it was 30 quid I managed to get the Goku for, the Super Saiyan 3 and the Vegito, which is part of the reason why I'm reviewing them all. Yeah, this thing was closer to 60. Double the price. Like, we're approaching retail price for the actual Beast Deities figures at this point. Like, if you lowered the price of this, I would recommend it a lot more. But it's just not worth the price you are trying to ask Magic Model. It really isn't. But yeah, let's get some parts in here to see how they swap. So, starting off with the faces, just to see if NEOKONGs is compatible, because, spoilers, I do plan on using this here for a custom. I'm not saying what custom yet, but I am hoping I don't have to modify the faces that came with this to work. So yeah, technically this should still work. This is NEOKONG's smiling Goku face. So I mean, if this works, technically the Super Saiyan 3 Vegito faces should work as well when they arrive. That popped on. That popped on quite well. Okay. Does that fit on? Yeah, that fits on absolutely fine. So I am a happy boy. I can get started with my custom. If anyone wants to guess what that custom will be, let me know. But it has to do with these bangs. The bangs will not be getting changed, just the faces. So yeah. That is good. It's still not really secure on there because it's held in with a single peg. But yeah, it's still good that it's compatible between it. I don't believe this would work the other way around because of the extra sort of adapter pegs. So yeah, bear that in mind. Let's see, if we pop that off, I like how easy that pops off, honestly. I really do. See if this pops on. Does it? No, unfortunately that does not. Why are they different sized pegs? They should all be based off the same thing. Let's pop that bit off and see. Yeah, the Magic Model pegs are completely, like, there's no detail to those whatsoever. So yeah, unfortunately, those are not compatible between each other, and that's a shame. I was really hoping with how easy that popped off that it would work, but hey-oh, you win some, you lose some. What about adapter pegs? Is this a standard Kong sized peg? Let's see, can I pop that out on camera? Yes, I can. Good. Yeah, that is a very, very stubby peg. That's strange. I would try and put the peg that came with the Super Saiyan Goku into it, but unfortunately it fell in one of the previous reviews and got lost in ether, and I don't know where it is now. It's probably under one of the desk legs, which I obviously cannot move easily. It's a very heavy desk. So yeah, shout out to SH Figure Poses on eBay. He's currently on holiday, but if you hit him up in September, he should be able to work out one of these for you. Of course, I haven't shaved this one down properly, so it's obviously not going to fit right, even if it does. Here is the one that does fit. Let's see, does it pop in? Is it the same type of peg? I don't think it is. That's having a really hard time going in there. I really don't want to force it too much. Hold on. Yeah, unfortunately that doesn't appear to be fitting. And I know for sure this peg adapter does work with the official Kong bodies. So yeah, unfortunately, different size pegs. Just how different are they? Yeah, there's a sizable difference there actually. Holy hell. What's going on? Like, what is going on with all the incompatibility these days? Like, that is very disappointing. Basically means whichever head I choose to put on this body, because it won't be that Super Saiyan 3. Let's be brutally honest here. Whatever I put on, I'm going to have to modify to use this larger peg for absolutely no reason whatsoever. Speaking of, here is the OC Toys Windy Hair. Will this fit? It's a slightly different size peg. I know this isn't like official Kong size, that it wouldn't fit in a million years, but this isn't a normal Kong sized peg. Oh, that popped. That popped. Okay. He has no neck, which is a bit of a problem. But that did indeed pop on. Okay, so SH Figure Poses, AFFM Customs, if you're watching this, some adapter pegs would be quite good for this. Does that pop off with the head or the body? It came off with the head. Brilliant. I'm going to have to find that there. I may as well leave that in for the rest of the review. That's not going to come out with how audible that pop was. So, yeah, OC Toys heads do, quote unquote, fit this body. Just not very well. But yeah, let's see if a 2.0 can look any sort of decent on this body, because I'm aware, if not, I'm going to have to buy either an OC Toys head sculpt set or something else. I mean, it friction fits on there, but yeah, that is a tiny little head on a massive big body. Yeah, I don't think that works, do you? To be honest. Just because something looks like it fits doesn't mean it does. And now it's not even fitting on properly. Yeah, I think we'll abandon that as well. Finally, before we go, let's just see how he looks next to the OC Toys Vegito. We get to see a more direct comparison finally between these bodies. This being an outright clone of Kong's with a little bit less detail, I suppose. Will pretty much show us what OC Toys have lifted from this and what they haven't. So yeah, you can see the inner gi is a different shape, although rather, because this has been cloned, it's not quite as harsh of an angle, which small blessings, I suppose. That is good. Yeah, you can just about make out the same sort of crease lines in the gi. It's just far less pronounced on this one because it's a copy. The lower ab section, stomach section, yeah, the crease lines are again adding up, although there seems to be more of them on here, so I wonder if OC Toys modified that. The shoulders, while they do have all the extra sort of crease lines and such, these sit a lot more naturally than these ones do. So yeah, something to keep in mind. Lower legs seem different. Yeah, they do seem different on inspection. The creases are the same, but once you get to the knees, those seem to be sort of built differently. There's a bigger gap in the knees here. So I'm wondering if this was taken from like the Gohan mold originally. I know they're all based off the Gohan mold, the Superhero Gohan mold. But yeah, obviously as well, the gloves are different. OC Toys brought the gloves pretty much up to the articulation point, but lengthened them as well. So yeah, you can see the difference there. Not sure what one I prefer, to be honest. I originally thought they had made the arms shorter, but no, the arms are the same length, it's just the length of the gloves they've changed. So yeah, not really sure which one I prefer, to be honest with you. Boots. Yeah, boots pretty much seem identical to me. Just obviously different paint apps on the boot tips for this one. But yeah. So yeah, overall, in terms of the mould itself, this is definitely the better mould of the two. It just feels much better quality, which is to be expected, given how cheaply made this one seems, just in general. Just quickly before we go, I want to talk about this. I've seen quite a few people say, like, oh, the gi colour on this guy is completely inaccurate, why did they make it so dark? It's not inaccurate, guys. If you look at the original run for Dragon Ball Z, when they aired it on the TV, it did seem like quite washed out in places, which caused the darker colours to shine through even darker. So yeah, this is accurate to 90s Dragon Ball Z. It's not accurate to Kai. They corrected the colours in that, but the 90s run, yeah, this is completely accurate. That's why Demoniacal Fit done the same colour scheme, the sort of really dark gi with the almost purple belt. It is accurate, guys. Please stop saying it isn't. But yeah, let's get the Super Saiyan 3 hair on this guy and finish up, shall we? So folks, to finish up, is this guy worth it? Categorically, no. That being said, if people are impatient or no longer trust NEOKONG's release that's coming out, I completely understand. So I will put a link to this guy in the description if you wish to purchase him. That being said, I do not recommend it. So yeah, guys, leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Please comment down below what you think of the figure in general. I know some of you will have some things to say regarding it. And yeah, until next time, guys, I'll see you all later.